Hello, hello, everybody. What's going on? Here we are in today's episode of 164 of the Leon the Great podcast. Your host, as always, Leon. So today we're going to be going over two topics I'm going to be talking about. So one topic I'm going to be talking about in the first part of the show is protecting your investment. And to me, as someone that has built my computer in the past, and someone that I've personally think that protecting your PC from lightning strikes, um, anything that comes out and destroys internal parts of your computer, that is very important to protect your investment. If you create content, if you do a lot of things, especially video editing, music, photos, whatever, or if you have a work life, if you work at home, this is something we definitely need to talk about. Absolutely, right there too. I think it is very, very important to talk about these things as well, because as you guys know that or many of you that may not know, I've worked at home for about over a year, and I have to say that if you are someone that works at home or currently working at home, it is a must if you're trying to protect your work PC or anything that you do online too, because at this point, work is going to be pretty much mostly online now. So something that you really got to consider protecting yourself throughout the dangerous situations like this. And then the second topic I'll be talking today is, I can't believe I'm going to talk about this, but even especially the internet is talking about it, which is OnlyFans. Yes, OnlyFans. So there's a lot of things to cover up on OnlyFans. I think that is going to be very important. What's the big deal of um, why OnlyFans have is deciding to uh, get away from porn, which that is something that there's going to be a big discussion. I think this is going to be something I wanted to talk about on today's show, especially if you're a content creator or part of the uh, sex workers community. Either way, this is going to be very interesting, and my take about it is pretty much going to go uh, over my reach on this, because at this point, this is really interesting how come they have unplugged from porn. So before we begin on today's show, I wanted to go ahead and say a couple words coming from my sponsors. And then coming from today's sponsors, first I want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to ExpressVPN. Now, if you don't know anything about Express VPN or what a VPN is in general, by the way, VPNs are very important nowadays, especially if you're doing um, private work or anything like that too. Especially in today's world, protecting yourself is a must. If you travel out a lot, using a VPN is absolutely a good need for anyone to use a VPN. I've used VPNs in the past from different providers, but ExpressVPN is the way to go. Guys, go ahead and check up on ExpressVPN down on the links below, and it'll be down in the show notes. So if you're listening to me via audio, go ahead and check out ExpressVPN by all means. Next up on the list is Scooch Case, which, by the way, I have a Scooch Case right over here, and as you guys can see, the name on the back of this phone I have right here, which I received from Scooch. It is absolutely amazing. I love it, and is for me my views on this. I love Scooch Case. In fact, I've dropped this phone several times when I've held this, and to me, I love the protection on this phone, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So, guys, check this out, and you will not regret the Scooch Case, because the last thing you will ever want to see is a cracked screen on your phone or a broken camera over on your rear view off your phone, off an iPhone or off a Samsung Galaxy. And by the way, go ahead and check it out. Zennies. I love Zennies. Anti-blue light glasses, which is absolutely a must if you're gonna be working long hours. I've weared one all the time, absolutely, which I've worn the sunglasses from Zennies. In fact, I love them. It is absolutely amazing. It has anti-blue light glasses, um, and whenever you're out in the sun or if you're out viewing anything on the computer, it is cool. I love it. I have my own personal Zennies sunglasses. So if you want your own Zennies, go ahead and check out the link down below. Brave browser, and then the two others I have below is Blueberry. Blueberry is an awesome hosting provider. I recommend Blueberry. Blueberry is something I recommend to anyone if you are one of those people that are looking for a good hosting provider. Blueberry has been around for a long time. I recommend it for anyone using Blueberry for the first time. If you're looking to simply host your podcast on Blueberry, it is a must. It has great service. I like the customer service off on Blueberry. I definitely recommend checking them out. So guys, go ahead and check down the links down below. And this is all the sponsors I have here on today's show. Now let's get on to the main topic, which is protecting your investment. Okay, so the first topic of tonight, which I wanted to go on talking about UPSs. And what UPSs stand for is uninterrupted power supply. So just to give you the story in the background, why I came to talk about this subject, which to me it's very important because some point I will end up looking for a brand new battery for the unit, and I don't know. I really don't know if the unit itself is still working, or I may have to end up purchasing a brand new unit down the road. However, so the story that about this unit is that this has been pretty much a lifesaver. I've had this cyber power unit for about, let's just say, at least about 6 years now. 6 years I've had it, and I've had this power unit from off the cyber power for this long, and the battery worked great until recently. And this battery, it's just saved me from heartaches from, let's see, pretty much loss of data and any issues that comes with when it comes to storms, electrical outlets, or anything that comes in the way, because you definitely want to protect your investment. And that's the topic of today, is protecting your investment, protecting your computer that you've had for a very long time. And let's say whatever happens to your computer, that you're going to be crying, and one of the things you don't want is your loss of data and anything like that too. And also, I don't just recommend a UPS, an uninterrupted power supply, but backing up your data is always recommended as well. Just with like a WD backup data, or one of those portable backup data that you carry around with you to back up your stuff off your laptop, which that's great as well too, which is always important. And however too, it's always best if you happen to have a uninterrupted power supply as well, because here's one thing is that a lot of people don't ever consider: when you purchase your computer, build your computer, and wherever you get your computer, or how you build it, you have to really consider the fact is that if those computers, or the computers that you purchase, or the parts you purchase, they are not electrical proof. Nothing is electrical proof on these things, and that's one of the things that you have to consider when you have a computer. It is good to protect your investment, whether you're working at home, creating content, making photos, making music, videos or whatever, or if you're a streamer, whatever you do, that's one thing you have to consider is make sure that the computer that you built or the computer that you purchase over at a box store, or what you call these things, a retail store, whatever, right? You have to make sure that that the purchase that you make is protected, and the UPS is something that comes in handy, and I loved it because while the batteries doesn't last long throughout the whole day, uh, because for one, if you are running a computer that's pretty much running on high performance along with your monitors right here, it's not going to last long. And one of the things I would say about good things about the UPS is that if any anything bad were to happen right there too, a UPS is a solution to it too. And I know that I'm not gonna go over on commercial UPSs, and commercial UPSs are great for anyone that works in corporate. If you maintain servers right there, having a backup unit right there to protect all your customers' information, their data right there, that's gonna be a plus right there. You have to have something that will protect customers' data, or if you protect your units, you know. And I know that a lot of these corporate jobs, they have to have backup servers for many reasons, or backup units. That way, they don't go down during certain situations, like I've mentioned, storms, or very strong heat that goes on, and plus heat can uh, pretty much take down power as well too, if unless that heat is extremely strong. It's pretty much rare incidents, but again, those things do happen, and they do happen on rare situations, but not always. And that's one thing I've always said to customers, or excuse me, not customers, but to people, is that you got to protect your units as always. And sure, if you can't afford to purchase a unit, uh, then you don't have to get one right away, of course. But if some point down the road, if you are gonna look into getting a UPS, whether if it's from APC or from Power or Cyber Power, then there you go. You go ahead and get right there too. And also the unit that I purchased, the unit cost back then around like 5 6 years ago. Uh, it cost me around like goodness gracious, like $90 back then, and this was coming from Best Buys too, which I didn't even do the research back then too, and I knew that it was an expense, but that thing right there saved my previous build, and now with this current build right there, which I thought this right here was worth it, because you definitely need something that you will need to protect yourself for the long run, and this is worth it. And now if you can get it secondhand, let's say on eBay, by all means, it'll be better if you get it secondhand, as long as it works. As long as it works great, who knows? Now, Newegg, I don't know the pricing on Newegg. I know many of you will have to start doing your own research, how much a UPS unit will cost you. And that's something I will give out to people, is do your research. I don't give any recommendations to brands because, for one, I don't do any recommendations on this show, because right there, as a consumer, you got to do your own research on what you need to do. That's for sure. What you need to do, because I don't tell people buy this, buy that. No, because even though there'll be few times I probably said in the show about motherboards, what I liked about motherboards, but even though I recommend this one right here too, but I don't solidly state that this is the motherboard for you to get. No, you have to do your own research, and it's always going to be like this for everybody else, because each wattages are different. If you're looking for a power wattage, let's say if you're looking something higher, like 165 wattage, then that'll be something that's going to suit for you. Or if you're looking for about 825 wattage or higher, then you have to do your research. Always, 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 always. So that's one thing I've always tell people, and I always tell them that even if it's from a brand from APC or from CyberPower, they're both good. So stepping aside from here, with my experience with that too, the battery I'm going to be looking to replace. So the battery that I've had with this unit, the one that came with it when I first made my purchase about 6 years ago. And I remember that when I had bad thunderstorms or bad outages due to issues in the area, I remember that protected my computer, and I was very happy that it did, because I didn't want the computer to go off of me. And once a power outage goes off around the area, what I would do right away is turn off the computer, because one of the things I would say with the power units is that the batteries itself doesn't last a long time. While it'll be good if let's say if the power goes off, right, and if you don't have anything else to charge it. Like for instance, I have this little portable charger right here that a friend purchased for me because I was doing a bit of Instacarting, and this is something I recommend. And as you can see right here with the blue LEDs, this is fully charged. This right here, it's fully charged, and these are indicators that shows that it's fully charged, and you go charge your Android device or iOS device like an iPhone. So that's something that's cool right here, right? But let's say if you don't want to use up all the batteries on this portable charger, the unit right there will serve its best what you really need. And you can just use the battery option right there. So you can just plug in your lamp, plug in your phone for a charge or for a quick charge, whatever. And that does the job as well too. Now, if this has nothing to do with computers, or if you're not working, you can use it to protect your living room area, like your television, your surround sounds equipment, or your ghetto blaster, whatever. This works well. Absolutely does. It works well, and that's something I will tell anyone is that if you're not the one working at home or whatever, then I recommend it for you to use it for your living room. And this is not just a battery backup unit, right, off its own, but it's also a great surge protector for you to have as well. And you'll need that. Absolutely, you need it if you are looking to protect your investment for the long run and not have your equipment die on you off the short term. So that being said right there too, I definitely not recommend any unit, but I recommend doing the research off a purchase off a UPS and what you need to find out as well. And I think it is also an important thing to have while you're going through. If you're going through the research, it's best to see the reviews, how many people loved this this backup unit, whatever. Look into it, and you will not regret it at all too, because I've had it for years, and I would tell people that do the same, whether if it's CyberPower or APC. And lastly, the second topic of tonight, which I'm going to be talking about internet news now. And this is maybe obvious to some people that's that have known this already, and this has been circulating around the news off of this too. And however, this is quite um, sort of sad, but funny at the same time. Where this is going, and for the most part, it's not a good thing right there too. And and I have to talk about it because at this point, this is part of the tech culture, and uh, OnlyFans is just getting a lot more attention um, since last week, and I have to bring this up. My gosh, oh my goodness, I cannot believe where this is going, especially with OnlyFans. So the news behind this is that now OnlyFans is now going to be stopped being any material, any pornography material, starting on October 1st. So if you were to post any material on OnlyFans, that if you have, or let's say if you had any, well, actually, what I understood was that nudes are still allowed, but pornographic content is not going to be allowed anymore. And this is where I thought I got confused with the topic, and I've done a bit of research. This, this is and this is sad actually, because the thing about OnlyFans was that it was always about sexual content, and if it always is from the start. Now, besides sexual content, it was there not just the sexuality of the content that a lot of the sex workers posted, but however there were also safe for work content as well that that was posted for those that were posting safe for work content too. Now, if you were, let's say, a photographer or or anyone that posted just content, this is somewhere down the alley too for the OnlyFans. But it was always about explicit content right off of OnlyFans, and that was used to be the place before OnlyFans. Before that, it was Patreon, and now OnlyFans have now become a big news, widespread news, because pressure of payment processors, and they don't like it. The banks don't like it, and holy cow! And the pressure behind this was that, or their excuse was that there was a lot of young underage girls that had that were on the site, that were there for illegal reasons. And this is where I think I understand that there could be illegal stuff, but there was no proof behind that too, and I don't know if there was a lot of proof. I and here's one thing I'll say about this is there. It was always been the foundation for sex workers going through there and posting up stuff right there too. Look, whether you agreed with the content that they had with OnlyFans too, if you were a subscriber to OnlyFans, or whoever was your favorite model, understand this. Understand is this. I don't care. I honestly don't care. If you were a sex worker, I think honestly, in my own libertarian perspective about this, is that I think if you if you were doing content like this, it wouldn't matter. It really wouldn't matter, because I like to let people choose off their own devices or whatever they want to do to their bodies or whatever. To me, that's very empowering right there too. And again, it's sad because they're gonna end up losing tons of money because of this too, because what they're trying to do, and the way they the way they described on the new policy was this. And to read off on the Verge, and just to give you a step by step what they covered over on OnlyFans, which says video sharing site OnlyFans has known for its creator adult videos and photos will prohibit sexually explicit content starting October 1st, just as I mentioned. First reported by Bloomberg, the company says it is making the changes because of pressure from its banking and payment provider partners. Through a BBC investigation found that the company had been uh, lenient on creators who had posted illegal content, and so this is where that's where I was saying before that there's been, I don't know how much proof of illegal content where probably what they are noticing, like they probably underage that came to the site. Again, no issues right there, and there was just no issues before this too, but now it's becoming an issue. If it all comes down to it, I think where most of the pressure it is coming from the banks itself, being the moral authority, how they're supposed to tell people what they should and shouldn't. But that's one thing right there, is that you can post nudes, but you could not post hardcore stuff. So that being said right there, and so that's the align policy right there that they had right there too, which in fact anyone can read the terms of service right here, which it is a little bit long off the terms of services. And also anybody can read it right there, and I'll have the terms of services down below, which I'm not going to go through too much of it right there. And I will let you guys read it, and from that point on too. But there you go. That's where this is coming right out from The Verge and so many media sites reporting on this. So this is the thing right there, is that, like I've said, it sucks. It really sucks for these people because that are doing these hardcore content, whether if it's anal or whether if it's oral, genitalia, whatever. And that's where I think which is happening right there, is that you cannot post on these stuff, on these things right there off of OnlyFans. And now all the creators, or the hundreds and thousands of creators are there, they now have to go ahead and drift away to another platform off of this. This is one thing I've, in fact, Andrew, or excuse me, Bandrew, which I've actually watched one of his videos off of this topic, and he was talking on his show on Bandrew Says that, and he gave out a really, really good point, was that you cannot rely on these websites. And this is the problem with a lot of the content creators. Once you go big off of webcamming, posting stuff off of someone else's website, and let's say if they end up becoming greedy, that'll fill in another gap of a hole. And by the way, no pun intended, but still, this is the problem right there, is that nobody thinks about doing or creating another website once you've become very, very big. Once you become very, very big on a large platform like OnlyFans. And this was the same thing. This has happened with Patreon. And this is the same thing, because they used to actually, I found out that, or believe it or not, I've actually used to know this information a long time ago, that Patreon used to let people post up explicit content. And guess what happened? They've had to switch policies. They had to make new changes. And this is the same kind of situation. And now because of this, a lot of these sex workers or lewd creators, or whatever you want to call them, they went ahead and switched up onto a site like OnlyFans, and they didn't even care what kind of content you posted up. And now all of a sudden, the game has changed, and now there's so many fan subscription sites now. So there are fan subscription sites for safe for work content and not safe for work content, NSFW. Oh, so that's the one thing I can see about both of them right there. Still, and I've said this before. I'm not to try to say this again because it sounds pretty nasty. Try to fill in the hope, fill in a big gap of a hole that it's gonna lead people into other sites to use, and that's where it all comes down. And also the fault does come down to the banking processors. No, though, do I believe that the issue may lie on their illegal actions? I don't know. There hasn't been any proof whatsoever that illegal actions were posted up on OnlyFans, and there's that side to it too. But the banking system, um, not moving forward and not going forward with that. I think it is, like I said, it's wrong. That's the reason I don't trust banks one bit. In fact, the funny story behind all this is that when and I'll just say it anyways for just for out of my show's sake. I'm gonna be a little bit open. Like for instance, I went to OnlyFans, and actually, believe it or not, one of the cosplayers that posted up on she used to go to Patreon and went straight to OnlyFans because at the time they didn't care. And one of the cosplayers, Lindsay Elise, went to OnlyFans because she knew that she can post up lewd content, bikini model content, stuff like that too. And I did support her for about a month right there too. And you know what? And that's one thing will say. It's like, hey, it's not just sex workers. It's almost about everybody going through there making content there too. And that was cool. That was the best thing about that too. If you have a big fan base, you can just post it right there too. And then now here's what I'm saying. I'm just gonna say right there, and I agree with Bandrew. And I'll post his show, the segment that he talked about right in the intro of his show, is that you do not want to rely on other websites. And let's say if they become greedy and let's say if they want to expand on their website for any reason whatsoever. And I think one of the main reasons, and other websites, what I've read as well, was that OnlyFans wanted to open up the doors to like an application like iOS or Android, right? An Android app. But however, they couldn't do that because for certain safety reasons. And when it comes to applications especially on the Google Play Store and on the App Store off of the iPhones, right here, there are certain rules on these websites. Is that a lot of these platforms cannot provide no safe not safe for work content on these applications, and that's the same rules applying right there too. Again, it's a really messy situation, and I think a lot of contenters don't get it now until they start realizing, look, we gotta provide other payment processors, especially. And for me, I don't even want to put money. Let's say if you were to try to pay via what do you call it? Like if you were to pay through a MasterCard or a Visa or whatever this is, those banks will not accept it. So now now that's the problem with these those folks right here, is that now they're gonna have to create their own stuff off their own domain, because it's important to have your own domain if you're gonna create content like this too. This is where things change. And to me, for all the sex workers, content creators, cosplayers, and the lewd people out there creating all this stuff, get your own website, start using cryptocurrencies and stop relying on the banks. I mean, at this point, you're having a a cryptocurrency boom right now. Things are skyrocketing, and Bitcoin is going at least coming up to 50K right now. So there's a positive to that too. So why not use it? Why not use it? Because you at least you can get an advantage into paying cryptocurrencies. Sure, they're speculative. I don't think not all cryptocurrencies are great, not all of them, but there are plenty of good cryptocurrencies out there. You gotta be careful of, because again, you at least if you put yourself out there into, let's say, get your own platform, and accept cryptocurrencies instead of accepting fiat dollars. Why would you want to accept dollars? Again, I'm sure that those sex workers do have to pay in taxes or whatever they've made right there too. At this point, I'm sure they've made tons of money when they've signed up to OnlyFans back early in the day, but now it is not good. You have to manage your own website or go to a platform that do care about the adult content on there too. So there's that right there too. And again, I will post all the links down below in the description. In fact, even Zero Hedge has talked about this too. So I will put that link down below for Zero Hedge, The Verge, the media sites I've looked up on today's episode right there. So if you guys want to check it out, please do so. Lastly, while I did mention about cryptocurrencies, and first of all, if you are a content creator right there too, I will mention something really quick. While I'm in the talking about OnlyFans and cryptocurrencies right there too, and since I know the banking processors, like if you were to set up like Stripe right there, there's tons of legalese that goes on with these processing payments, especially anyone like banks or PayPal. In fact, I try to um, pay one of my cosplayers through my PayPal account, and I called PayPal about it. And believe it or not, I have to let you guys know is that about this was that the strange part was that not even my PayPal wouldn't accept OF, which I thought, what the heck was that? That was weird. But anyways, it was really weird to hear from PayPal. In fact, when I called in PayPal, I said, "Hey, what's going on? My payments getting rejected. My balance off my PayPal is fine. What the heck? What's the deal?" And you know what they said is that they said that they do not support adult explicit content there, which I'm thinking, what? Yeah, which is weird. And this is not like super offensive content. I mean, this is just cosplay in general, and just half nude stuff right there. Just check out Lindsay Elise. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about too. But still, that was a bit absurd too. But I know that PayPal has now tons of strict policies now which site you can pay through PayPal now, which is absolutely crazy. Still, if you're going to look into any content like that, and however, if you're a content creator, like I've said before, crypto will be a good thing to look over. And I'm sure that for many of you guys that don't understand crypto, is a good time to understand it now more than ever. And for those that said that, I came into the crypto game late, I didn't get into Bitcoin around 2011, 2013, or Litecoin, Ethereum early in the day, or whatever, right? And first of all, it doesn't matter if you weren't early. The best part right now is to get into the ship while things are going high right now too. And as far as things concerned right here too, let me just look up the price. In fact, right now in its current state, Bitcoin is going up over almost close to 50K, which is awesome. 49 it's right now 49K. It may by tomorrow it'll end up being 50K as I what I know right here. Looking at the widget right here over at you guys may not even see it. But either way, it's just what I'm checking right here. It's pretty much right now 49K, $418. So still, right now, it is one of the best times to get into the crypto space. And for anyone that can't even afford crypto or can't afford to buy cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or Ethereum, bullshit. Anybody can. You gotta look into at like Gemini or a wallet such as Edge, which actually Edge is one of my favorite wallets right now too. Because looking at it right here, Edge is always updating its wallets all the time over on iOS and on Android, which I've always said I recommend Edge, but there's tons of crypto wallets out there for anybody to choose from, and to give give your wallet addresses out there for anyone. So that way, if you want people to buy your content, then you can just go out and send in your wallet address from your Bitcoin wallet, Ethereum, Chainlink, doesn't matter. At this point, you want to get into the Bitcoin, or into the crypto game. But however, for my recommendation, if you want to have private transactions, look up Monero or Pirachain. Pirachain is now, I believe, it went past $2 already, and I believe it's now $4. Let me look over real quick, because at this point things change all the freaking time. CoinGecko. All right, looking over at CoinGecko, and where's the search? Oh, there we go. ARRR. There we go. Pirachain. And let me just change the screen over from wonderful. Oh, there we go. I knew it was like $4 and something. So looking over here, it is now $4.55. And to me, at this point, somewhere around September, it'll end up going much, much higher. And if you want to know where to trade your Bitcoins to Pirate, or your Bitcoin to from Bitcoin to Monero, look up Trade Ogre. There's no KYC, so I would recommend doing so as well. So either way, you guys have your options right here too. And right now, I'm saying this right now because things will go higher and higher. It is not too late to get into the crypto game if you want to go in it for the long run too. But with that said, while I'm here saying this too, thank you so much for joining in today's show over on the Leon the Gray podcast. And I do hope you enjoyed the show. Please leave your likes, your dislikes, what you don't like about the show, or if you want to rate me on iTunes, good. Rate me on iTunes, whatever it may be. Look, I don't do this podcast without you people, because at this point, there are so many podcasters out there are looking for people that want to hear from you, and I want to hear from you as well. So what do you think about today's show, and about what I've said about UPSs and about OnlyFans banned from porn? So either way, like to hear from everybody. And with that said, thank you so much for coming in today's podcast. Your host, as always, Leon. I'm out. Take care.